Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as we always do, hopefully. And we got a topic we're going to talk about today, and I'm very interested to see how this topic is going to play itself out. But before I go another step further, before I go another iota, I got to say good morning to my brother from another mother, but we got the same father. This is Captain Leonard. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow family.
Man, look, we got some things going on. We got to talk about this morning, man. And let me say good morning to a few people. Dow man, good morning to you. Good morning to Patrick Joyce, and good morning to Keith Anderson. Keith Anderson, and the phone lines are open. You could give us a call. We love to have your input. All you have to do is give us a call at 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Leonard, did you look at any games this weekend?
Oh man, yeah, of course.
Woo. Oh man.
There was some good games.
It was some excellent games this weekend, man. Man, and the one that stands out the most with me got to be that Kansas City game, man. Kansas City Buffalo, man. Listen,
Oh yeah, I was going. I mean, Kansas City. I mean, that game, the last minute push by them teams.
yes,
Man. I guess
yes,
that's what makes it what it is.
exactly.
You know, that overtime
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. And I even seen where some folks are even mad at the overtime rule now.
Yeah. Because truth of the matter, I'm gonna tell you something. I think that Buffalo, the way both those teams played that game, man, and how they did it, they should have had an opportunity, man. It seemed like they should have at least had one opportunity just to possess the ball one
Well, they
time.
did have an opportunity.
Not in overtime.
Well, I mean, you knew the rules before you started playing the game, right?
Yeah. I know.
Okay, so you should have been fully aware of the opportunity.
I'm like, man, it's and you're right. And just for the record, you're absolutely right. But my thing is this right here, man. I A game like that, you hate to see anybody lose a game like that, man. You hate to see any one of the teams lose. But the way somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. Somebody, both teams can't go. Both teams can't go. But who do you of who's left right now? You got four teams remaining. Who you putting? If you was a betting man, who you putting your money on?
Well, I mean, of course, I'm long as Tom Brady don't go, I'm satisfied.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I do like the matchup with Mahomes against anybody.
Mm-hmm. I'm
However, because of I see a player who was dogged and talked about and was on a horrible losing team.
mm-hmm,
Soon he leaves, he proves himself.
mm-hmm,
And now
yeah,
he's on his way to trying to perform in a Super Bowl. That's Matthew Stafford.
yeah. And see, and see,
So this would be great for Stafford
well,
to be able to prove himself. I like to see players who just relocate
mm-hmm.
and then find themselves winning.
But Leonard, I gotta ask you a question, man.
Shout out to man Beckham, man. Same team.
Yeah, exactly. But let me
I
ask.
like to see that together. You know what I'm saying?
But I gotta ask you this question, Leonard. Was that a gut punch to the Detroit Lions, man? Was that a gut punch, man?
It should have been.
yeah,
It should have been to let
yeah.
you know it's not always the player.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's other things that go into making a athlete his best and supporting an athlete that supports the team in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why well, we know why he couldn't get it done.
Yeah. Did you?
But that just shows the intricacies of it's not just getting one star player or giving him the most money or something like that. You
Mm-hmm.
got to really be trying to win the game.
Yeah. Detroit, man.
You know,
I'm gonna tell you why I can't get with Detroit, man. And this happened years ago, man. But that's how they did Barry. How they did Barry Sanders, man. They dogged this man out. Then he wanted to leave because he said, look here, man, I can't win nothing here. I can't win nothing here in Detroit, man. Y'all don't have the mindset that y'all want to win a championship. He said, I want to win a championship. I want to hold that trophy. And they put him on the shelf, man. They put him on the shelf.
Yeah, so
Man had to retire.
we've seen it. We've seen it
Yeah.
where players just for some reason can't get it done. Of course, I always make fun of situations in Atlanta where you have so much talent come through, and soon they leave your team. They go somewhere else and they prosper.
Yep. Win.
So that's a story in itself. But man, I love to see people being able to get paid so much to do something that they love so much.
Now, I'm about
Remember, it's just a game.
Exactly. Now I'm about to open up a can of worms. Because I know how you feel about this, but I want you to tell everybody else how you feel about this topic right here. Because you and I have talked about it on off air before. What do you say to the people that say that these professional athletes, be them basketball, football, or whatever? What do you say to the people that say these guys make too much money, man? They just like you just said, it's just a game. They just playing a game. But yet and still, they're getting paid millions of dollars when you got teachers and police officers, firefighters that don't even make anything close to that. What do you say to those people?
Well, I say to them, I mean, that point of view is always selfish.
On which part?
For the very simple fact is, who are you to say who don't deserve what? It's obvious that there is a demand for what it is that these people do. And if that demand is willing to support them salaries and all the money these people make, then that's business. There's no such thing as comparing an athlete to a person that works for the fire department. It makes no sense.
But and I don't want to get sidetracked and think that I'm saying that. What I'm really saying is, should a firefighter, a teacher, a police officer, should they get paid millions as well? In a perfect world, would they get paid millions as well?
No, because it's irrational.
But you could pay an athlete that's bouncing a ball or catching a football or throwing a football millions of dollars.
Yes, because millions of people want to see that.
But millions of people need police officers too.
But millions of people, as soon as you want to raise their taxes in order to compensate those salaries,
now you're hitting
their tone of voice.
Now you're hitting it. Curtis, good morning. How you doing this morning? Kurt, you there? There's someone with his fans to the phone there.
Curtis, no, I'm here.
Oh, okay. What do you say?
And obviously, Raheem, you're a little low because my man Kurt is much higher than you.
Oh, his volume. Curtis might got one of my old fancy phones, man. I got a regular phone over here, man. So maybe that might.
Yeah, because I noticed you were a little low today.
Oh, okay. Let me turn my volume. How's that? Is that better?
Hey, Raheem, a little bit. Come back to me. My wife called me on the line. Let me answer this.
Okay. All right. Good deal. But Leonard, is there an argument there though?
No, there is no argument.
I'm bring you into this.
There is no rational argument for paying public service workers as much as entertainers make. Economically, it just does. There's no rational argument for that.
Now when you say that, now that you excuse me, you open up another kind of world when you say economically it doesn't make sense, because I think that the way the structure is set up, they could pay them more. Now, do I want to say millions of dollars? Maybe not millions of dollars, but they could certainly pay them as much more than what they're paying them right now to go out there and make sure that your streets are safe, your house catch on fire. A professional athlete is not going to come out there and put your house out.
Well, let the mayors of cities worry about that. Let the city councils of cities worry about that.
Okay.
But there's a lot of people who think they should be paid more. I mean, everybody thinks they should be paid more.
Why is it that athletes can make so much money though?
Because there are so many people that are willing to invest in that.
Mm. And so
That is
basically,
that is for demand. That is a hugely demanded product, and millions of people are willing to spend their hard-earned money to
mm-hmm,
enjoy that.
mm.
That's the reason why they get paid so much.
But the way that they get to the games, get through the games, make it home from the games is because of the fact that you have people in law enforcement that make sure that they're safe.
But there's no demand. There's the demand for that is not as large as the demand to watch that game.
Mm-hmm. Wow, wow. And so if something were to break out in the midst of that game, and chaos were to break out in the midst of that game, somebody going in the stadium and they get to shooting or whatever, I promise you that professional athletes, the ones that's performing on the field or the court, is not going on or the ice or the whatever it is not going to do anything to secure your safety.
Well,
But the law
that's not their function.
see the law enforcement, the law enforcement police officers, the good ones are the ones that run towards the sound of the gunfire when everybody else is running away from.
That's what they choose to do.
So shouldn't they be compensated a little better?
No,
Wow,
not the way
wow.
you're not in the context of the way you're saying.
Okay, well, tell me how could they be compensated more? Help me understand. Maybe I'm off base here. Help me out.
Well, they could be compensated more if your local municipalities wanted to pay them more.
Mm-hmm,
Officers who work in certain areas get paid more than officers that work in other areas.
mm-hmm,
You have certain officers with specialized skills who actually have a seniority. There's a seniority type of system there where they can advance through the ranks in their position to earn more pay and
mm-hmm,
things of that nature. However, it's all known up front. Ain't nobody sitting on the sideline watching to see who comes a police officer because guess what? Anyone can become a police officer.
mm-hmm.
Everybody can't do what Patrick Mahomes did yesterday.
But you got so many that can and don't get the opportunity.
Right, because it's a game.
I know that and I've seen people and people say what they want to say and feel the way they want to feel about it. This the way this okay, good day. I'm coming to you. This the way I feel about it. I know on the courts, on the basketball courts, man, from Greensboro, North Carolina, where I'm from, there are some players out there, man, that's just is good or maybe even better than a Michael Jordan. They just didn't get the opportunity.
Like I say, I doubt. A lot of times people say things like that, and of course we've seen, but it takes a lot more than that
Mm-hmm,
to
mm-hmm,
become an all-star athlete. It takes
mm-hmm,
not just skill, but character.
mm-hmm.
Then it takes hard work and management. It's a package deal. It's the package deal.
Leonard, I'm going to go to Curtis, but I'm gonna tell you something, Leonard. I've heard some stories about Michael Jordan's character that
Who cares? Who
some
cares?
some some would say no you because you just said it takes
No,
character.
the
And I'm just
what matters to me is
mm-hmm,
what actually happens.
mm-hmm.
Not what we wish to happen, but what actually happens.
And again, I say we got another call as well. I got to go to the phone line. But again, I say that I've heard some stories about Michael Jordan not having the best character that you will look for in quote unquote a package.
But it ain't kept him from scoring points. It ain't kept him from putting money in the bank, and it
Is that
hasn't
more
stopped him
important?
from becoming a basketball legacy.
Is that more important than having character?
It doesn't really matter because what he does is worth what he does.
Okay. That's the way you feel about it. I'm on the opposite side of the coin on that one, brother. But that's the way you feel about it. Let
Rain
me
is
go to
wet.
yeah, but you can't don't stand on top of the roof and peel me. Don't stand on top of the roof, peel me, and tell me it's raining either though.
Well, if
But
you think it's piss, this could be piss.
you know what I mean? That's a whole different conversation. Curtis, Curtis, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Hey, what up, man? What's going on?
Hey man, I know you looked at some of them games
What's up,
this
man?
weekend. I know you looked at some of them
What's up,
games
Kurt?
this weekend.
Absolutely. Yes,
sir.
You know, I'm basking in glory right now.
Yes, sir.
I'm basking in glory right now.
Man, look at here, man. I'm hoping if it plays out the way I wanted to play out, and I'm thinking it might, but you can never really count Cincinnati out. But I'm hoping it's gonna be the Chiefs. I'm hoping the Chiefs gonna end up playing against the Rams, man. I'm hoping that's gonna be the Super Bowl. That's gonna be a heck of a game, that brother. There you go.
I'm going Chief against the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
But Cincinnati and the 49ers would be historically the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because it gives the Bengals the chance to get back that age-old loss
Mm-hmm.
that they had. But I don't think the Bengals got enough, and I don't think the 49ers got enough to hold.
No.
I mean, they all four is good teams.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think they got enough to push them over the edge right now.
And man, what do y'all say to Brady getting kicked out, man? How did he look to y'all?
Huh?
How did Brady look to y'all yesterday?
Brady looked like he was playing in a game where there wasn't where he didn't receive a lot of calls. That's what it looked like.
Mm-hmm. The real Brady.
Looked like they let off,
Mm-hmm.
so he could, come back. They let up a little bit. But that white hat yesterday in that Bucks game was not playing with Brady.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
He did when Brady tried to get slick, talk slick to him, like cursed him out.
Yeah.
He looked at him and threw that flag like, man, hold on, you ain't gonna disrespect me, homie.
Exactly.
Right, well, take that.
Exactly.
First time Tom Brady ever got basically a conduct penalty. I forget what they call it though.
Mm-hmm. For pouting, basically. For pouting. And being that this disrespectful little child that's acting out. He do it all the time. But Curtis, me and Leonard talking. I'm going to say Donald, because Donald just called in. We're coming to you in a few seconds, Donald. But me and Leonard was just talking about and Toy, I know you're there too, sister. We come to you before we go to Donald. But we're talking about athletes and the amount of money that they make. I asked the question: should teachers, police officers, firefighters get paid the same equivalent as a professional athlete? Curtis, what do you say to that?
No.
Wow. What and why you say?
They shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
They should get down whole. Don't get it twisted. They should get paid more.
Mm-hmm.
They should get paid more. But policemen and firefighters, I mean, bro, it's some quirks that it's some good quirks that come with that job now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, they should get paid more. But I'm not going to say that they should get paid the same amount as a professional athlete.
So
I ain't going to say that.
Do you think a professional athlete, a person that's dribbling a ball, throwing a football, catching a football, running up and down the field, baseball, whatever the case, you think they really deserve to make millions of dollars as they do and have the lifestyle that they live because of the fact that they play the child sport?
Yeah, they should, because they got there in a profession. Okay, you got to look at this thing in terms of dollars and cents, man. They're in a profession.
Mm-hmm.
The Firemen's Association don't pull in $200 billion a year.
Mm-hmm.
The Policemen's Association don't pull in $200 billion a year.
Mm-hmm.
The Teachers Association don't pull in $200 billion a year. The NFL pulls in probably more than that. The NBA the same. The NBL the same. And all of these are international sports. The NFL is just not in America anymore, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL is in Europe.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Then they talking about moving it to China. They talking about, it's been talk of the Chinese having a team.
Mm-hmm.
So, or having a league. So, let's give these athletes what they do, man. These guys are considered the best at what they do. Let's pay them accordingly. You
And
know,
I could say the same thing for the police officers and the firefighters and the teachers and people. I could say the same thing. They had to go through so much in order to become what they are. Especially a teacher. A teacher got to go to school all these years, go through college, do all this stuff.
But they don't have to go through nothing less than any other person can accomplish. I don't care what you went through. You cannot accomplish what Odell Beckham has done.
On a field.
You can't go learn that.
Odell Beckham, I guarantee you, if you ask him who helped him get to where he is right now, where he are right now, Lord Jesus, if you ask him who got him,
Yes,
he's going to tell you that it was a teacher, some teacher along the line stepped in his life. And we talked about this Friday, stepped into his life and did the things that made him who he is today. So, man.
Well, he may tell you some coach.
Hold on. I didn't say that I don't think they deserve to be paid more money. That's not what I said. They don't deserve
$1 million. I
don't say what they don't deserve.
How do you value? How do you put a point?
Feel like their market is ever going to be in a position to pay them NFL money. For one, you only have a total of 500 plus players in the NFL.
All together.
That's all together. It's 500 plus players in the NFL.
Okay.
I wish we would try and have an educational system where we only have 500 teachers in the United States. Everybody be walking around here plumb dumb.
Even those athletes that we're talking about. Even those athletes.
The thing is, it's not our fault that teachers not making the salaries that they should be making.
Yes, it is.
The salaries are determined by the market.
Hold on. Let's pull Toya into the conversation. Good morning, Toya. How you doing this morning? We come back. Hold on. Let's let everybody talk a little bit. Toya, what's on your heart? Talk to me.
You know, it's so funny how we people make this country. Well, you send your kid to school every day. Why don't you? How much is that ticket for football? Well, why don't you send that to your teacher once a month? How about that? I promise you, the 20 of them parents that watch football faithfully and spend money on football faithfully, if they all spent $25 a month, not every week, not every game. Why don't you give that to your teacher? See, we got priorities messed up over here. You know, see, do you want to be entertained? You made a comment earlier about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is a house nigga. So house niggas always going to get the cream of the crop. The man owns prisons. Now, I'm not mad at what you do with your money. I'm not even mad if you're a slave owner and that's what you got. I'm going to be mad when you don't have the best interest of humans at hand. So, no, I do believe that it is our fault that our teachers are underpaid because we know that. So why are we not giving our teachers? Why not? Why aren't 20 parents saying, you know what? We know your salaries is not enough. I'm talking about teachers right now. So, you know, let's get together like you would pay a private institution billions of thousands of dollars a month for a year. Why can't 20 of them teachers spend $20 to give to their teachers every month? Because we don't care. We want to be entertained. Now let's talk about firefighters and police officers. Now, you know, these are what we consider public workers. Now, we really think about how much money each of us spend in taxes now. And how much money the government brings in total. I promise you they can pay them more than what they get. But again, you got people. I'm just going to use some examples. Do you think that a player from the Cincinnati Browns should get just as much as a player from the Saints? Or just pick one of the teams. What's the team Brady on? I don't even care no more.
Tampa Bay.
You're going to get paid according to performance in that sport. So I'm quite sure there's a lot of football players walking around who feel like, oh, I don't get as much as this one, and I get hit and toe up, knocked in the head, tackled just as much as the other person. But the point of the matter is, the reason on how we get paid is by how we market our teams, whether you're a teacher, cop, or firefighter, and by the people, us, that go and pay and participate in those activities. That's how they get paid. But we sleep on teachers.
Mm-hmm.
We sleep on police officers every day. Oh, that's not my problem. Oh, that's the government problem. They have to do that. No, it's all of our responsibility. And this is the situation we get in when we decide to try to push responsibilities off on people and don't do anything. We still sitting back talking about it. People have been underpaid all of our entire lives. And some of us on here 60 years old. And we still don't care. How many times have you sent a $20 gift certificate to your child's teacher that had been in school for 18 years? Or even a Christmas present? So no, a lot of these issues in America, again, this is the same rotten, raggedy United States that enslaved us that's trying to turn to a better way. What do we do? What do we do as the people? Everything is the government, what they said how to do. What do? We got to stop that. Mm-hmm. We know how vital it is to have these components. And we make enough money as individuals in this economy to not let go things or let things stay who they are. So it is our fault.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Toussaint, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? What's your take on it, brother? Should they get paid more money, or do the professional athletes, do they get paid a little too much? And there's so many different ways to take this conversation right now. But what do you say to that, man? Your teachers, your police officers, your firefighters, people of that nature, not making the same amount of money that the athletes that dribble a ball up and down the court, pass a football, catch a football, run around a track, or whatever the sport. They get paid millions of dollars. Why can't the teachers, police officers, and I'm not going to necessarily even say millions of dollars, but certainly more? Why, Donald?
How many teachers T-shirts you got?
How many T-shirts I got?
Yeah, that promote your local school district or teacher or firefighter or police officer. How many? I see killer cases with New Orleans fans, cup,
yeah,
hat, jersey. How many teachers' jerseys you got?
Don't have any.
I'm just asking for a friend. I'm just saying, we don't have your local. I don't know, even the doctor. How many doctor T-shirts you got? I know they make a penny for their lifesavers. I'm just saying, versus your favorite football team or basketball team. I see people have a whole bedroom suite covered with Pittsburgh Steelers. Everything. They laying on it.
Yeah.
Then when they walk you, the welcome mat has it on there. Then their license plate has it on. They wear Nike shoes and Jordans. Don't even play no more. He's still making that money off of who? The people that support it. And I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'm just saying, I'm kind of like where, I don't know if I'm agreeing or in the same line of thinking as for you, but I'm just saying. When the last time you went out and they had a logo store for teachers? Do they have any?
No.
Firefighters, police officers. If they did, they want to burn them down. Probably.
Exactly.
But look at our professional football players and basketball players, and even track and field. There's Olympics. Look how much people will be willing to spend just to go to the Olympics, and it's in Europe. And they won't go around the block to check on their child that they want to pass their grades. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Monique, good morning. How you doing this morning? Cassandra, coming to you next. Monique?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. We're asking a question about the pay scale of the professional athletes in comparison to the police officers, teachers, and firefighters. What do you say to that?
I think that the teachers and firefighters and police officers, I think they pay probably do need to be increased, but I don't see it as being comparable to the athlete, because the teachers, they get paid by the state. Most of them. And where does the state get their money from? The taxes. So that means that, we the people, will have to, fund them. I think it should be, some kind of shift, in the pay, as far as like, some of these state representatives, they get paid, pretty good. I think, that there should be some kind of shift. I do believe that the teachers, they need to be paid more, especially with all, most of them, they have degrees, and, they starting pay is probably about 50,000, it depends on where they located, whereas, some regular, blue collar job is, starting you off with that. But should it be comparable to the athletes? I don't see it being there, because even, I think some of the bench players, or, some of them are in the low six figures. So, I'm not sure. I don't see, for me, I see teachers need to start off at a minimum of six figures. And that's just to give them, I understand that being a teacher is supposed to be, this, I want to, teach kids, type of thing, but you want to still make them feel good about their job as well, to be compensated for it, and I think somebody mentioned something about a store, with all the paraphernalia. That's a good idea, something to, possibly, create for the teachers, and, whatever, monies they make for that, can go to maybe the Teachers Association or the Fire Association, because the police officers and the fire station, they always on the corner, asking you to donate to their association. So, I don't know. I see, up in the teachers' pay, but are we willing to do that? With being taxed more.
Let me go to and that's a heck of a question right there, because once you do that, now you're talking about the taxes that's gonna come in play. It's a lot of different elements. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Morning.
Now, Cassandra, I know you are a former teacher as well. So what do you say about this conversation? How do you feel about this? Are they paid? Are the teachers and the firefighters and police officers? I know that they don't make nearly as much as a professional athlete, or even on a professional athlete on the low end, they don't make as much. So should the pay be increased for the teachers and the firefighters and the people that's actually making life safer for us?
Yeah, absolutely. There shouldn't be a question in anybody's mind that our service, people that are providing services to our community. Seeing an athlete run up and down the field, I don't care what it is, a basketball court, a field, hockey, whatever it is, doesn't even compare. It gives a thrill to those that are watching, but it does nothing to enhance our society as far as I'm concerned. To me, there's no real value to it except entertainment. And we love thrills. So, teachers actually are giving something that is valuable. They're helping our children, preparing them for the future. And I think that should be a main focus. And I know that as a former teacher, that the money we made was like laughable. Let's just put it like that. But we do it. Most teachers, I'll say 90-something% of teachers do it because we want to help our young people and we want to serve our communities.
Wow,
that's just my opinion. The athletes, I'm not paying. Oh yeah, I did pay $1 at the thrift store for an official T-shirt or something one time. That's it. That's about as much as I'm gonna do.
A whole $1.
$1.
Wow. Rico, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. Top of the morning, everybody. Grand Rising. How's everybody doing?
Hey, doing good, and congratulations, brother.
Congratulations to everybody.
Good deal. What do you say about this topic we're having right now, man? A professional athlete making millions of dollars a year. Some making almost $1 million a game. Then you got teachers and you got police officers and the good ones and the firefighters. And I said about the police officers, the firefighters, man, when somebody's trying to run out of the building, the firefighters are the one that's running inside the building, running inside just to make sure everybody is safe. But the pay is like Cassandra said, sometimes laughable. What do you say to that, Rico?
It's true, it's very. But see, that's the thing is. The thing is that we are in a society now where money rules. So if being a policeman generated profits and revenue, being a school teacher or ER worker generated revenues and profits, then they could go and ask for a better percentage. But they don't generate the profits that an actor or a singer or a rapper or an athlete generates. And so those people, they entertain. And they get millions of fans that come in, and the people that own these venues, they up the prices on tickets, and they up the prices on a cup of beer and a hot dog. I mean, you pay $10 for a beer, $8 for a hot dog. I mean, that's a lot of money being made. So those entertainers that people are paying to come see and be entertained by, they got to get their percentage. Actors got to get their percentage. Will Smith got to get at least 5% of what this movie generates if everybody coming to see him play a part of it. But see, society has made that so important that it generates that type of revenue. Now, if somebody came up with a way for a teacher or a policeman to get that kind of revenue or to generate that type of revenue, then maybe they could split those profits. See, it's called profit sharing. But it's in the society we live in, this free will, capitalism, and all this, it all has a trickle effect to the point where this free will says, well, we're gonna make these certain things more important and more valuable to us. So it's more invaluable for us to go and see and have a good time and watch people play basketball and to listen to people rap about nothing and sing, to make us feel good, to entertain us. We feel like that is so valuable that we'll spend anything to do it. So a lot of people want to do anything they can to be entertainers instead of teachers. They rather do anything they can to be an entertainer instead of a policeman. Because policemen do not generate the type of income that entertainers do. So it ain't a whole lot of profit for them to split and share. But I imagine in some countries that don't have these rights that we have over here, they might sort of control that. They might want to limit the impact of entertainers and entertainment on society. But in this society we live in over here, we don't want no control. We don't want no limitations. We just want what we want. And therefore you see what's most important in this society. And that's being entertained and finding some way to make ourselves feel good. That's what's most valuable.
Wow.
So if we felt better about being saved, our lives being saved, if we felt better about being educated and realize how important it is, then it would be paid more, even by the government. It would be a six-figure minimum. But it would benefit you more to go and be a subpar football player, but average enough to make a practice squad, and make $500,000 or $400,000 a year than to go and be a school teacher and teach somebody how to save a life or transplant a heart.
Wow. And I just received a message. $34,000 is the starting pay for a teacher in the state of Georgia. $34,000. Pick anybody, any one of your major sports, and basketball. I'm talking about here in Georgia, basketball, football, whatever it is, baseball, and tell them that they're gonna pay. Okay, you could be on the team, but we're gonna pay you $34,000. How many of them athletes could just walk off? Leonard, what's on your heart, bro? Talk to me. It's not gonna happen.
Well,
I'm
you
just
know,
caught up.
this conversation to me, it just begs the question: how do you all expect things to work, really? In actuality, not your desires, but simple, basic A plus B equals C. Anybody can go to school to be whatever they want to be. If you don't want to be, if you want a job that paid $35,000, by all means do that if that's what you want. If you don't, go do something else. This is not a value issue. This is an issue of a market. And one, the only way you don't, ain't nobody sitting around just giving you money out of the goodness of their heart. There's a lot of math that goes into it. And say, for instance, this is one of the reasons why I don't covet. I'm not envious, and I don't complain. If I go and take a job that pays $40,000 a year, why would I expect any more? Why?
I could agree with you on that, but I think my question is slightly different, because my thing is, where is our priorities? And I think Toya brought this up as well. Priorities, man. Are we placing more priorities in being entertained than we are in being safe?
No, the market has said that people will go into teaching for $34,000 a year if need be. And that particular $34,000 is only an issue here, probably in Georgia. That same teacher could probably go somewhere else and make $20,000 to $30,000 more than that. Or they could be a specialized profession and make more than that. Or they can go to a special school district that maybe is all private and make more money than that. It's a market. It's not a value system. It's a market.
And see, and when you say it's not a value system, I could agree with that. I can agree with that part of it. But are we devaluing the people that we should place more value in? That's my question.
No, it's that some of you believe that these people should be paid more.
Absolutely.
But if you make me billions, why wouldn't I give you millions?
See, again, it goes back to that. Like Rico always goes back to that love of money.
Well, why you go to work? Why would anybody go to work? Why? Why go to work?
Okay, hold on, Leonard. Toya, go ahead.
Well, my thing is, while we out here in this field picking product, when the master pick an extra one of us to come on the inside and they ain't got to do the work like everybody else, it make everybody else feel salty, right? And it's not the person who got picked to go in the house and get raped fault that the master liked them more. But maybe they'll get paid for picking, and they won't, because the masters in his system chooses that's who, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. And this is kind of the same system. I mean, I get it. And like I just said, it's just like all football players, right? All of them don't get the same, right? It's all basketball players. Everybody make money like Michael Jordan. Everybody on that team didn't make money like him. But they were very key players into Jordan's legacy. He didn't win it by himself. Can't no player, one player, win nothing by themselves. So they collectively as a team, and some of them might not want to admit it, as a team, it helps them grow overall. And they can max out their money on endorsements. And I get that. You can't do that as a teacher. No. So the starting salary, it's just Georgia 34 something. But if you look everywhere across the whole, even in California, okay, what they start you up in 42? The max out is 78. You know how long it takes for you to get to that max out? Come on with the jokes. Come on with the jokes. Stop. This very thinking, this mentality, is why the system is the way it is. Because in this system, this is how they rate black people too. Well, this is why we're going to pay y'all less too, because this is not a country, it's a business. And according to the business, we got to go rank on what people like the most. But it be like that. You know what some people want to call it? It's luck. Oh, you're just not lucky enough to get that X amount of job, but I'm better than half of you bums out there. Because we don't go by priority. We don't go by what would be the right thing to do. We don't even go by who would be the best. We go by who jumping through what hoops. Let's be real about it. We know a lot of people right now that is not in the NFL, that's not on the NBA, that are probably better than half the people that's out there, but they didn't make it because of the system that they have in place for them not to. And it's the same way with teachers. This is still a system. And again, I'm just going just think about it. Just think about the 5 of us that's on here. A minimum of $200 per person per paycheck. You get paid twice, that's $400 a month. You get paid 4 times, whatever. Multiply that times possibly how many people in your county, 200,000. And again, when you start looking at the numbers, I'm a numbers person. Yeah, there's no reason why we can't pay them more. But this system is set up to not pay us more for a reason. They feel economically what's not going to happen. There are economic reasons why they don't do this. There's economic reasons why we're still at 725. So what if I don't have an education? But I did the work. I dropped out of school. I did the work. You know what I had to do to fight to become a manager? And I'm still one of the lowest paid. Under a white man, I don't watch white men go take over stores behind me that I cleaned up and get paid 10 to 15 grand more. It's not about the grades. It's about this system. And it's the same way with teachers. And one of the things that I do when I manage is I explain to them, I'm going to teach you things that you'll have to go to college. Now, here we go now. Now, for you to get the real meat and potatoes when we go to college, we got to pay that school. And they spread information out over 4 years that they get just in 2 weeks type. But it's a part of the system. They don't care if I know everything already. I have to go to school to be certified, to be a PhD doctor and whatever I'm doing. And at that point is when these books become certified. And it depends on how much I push myself or promote myself or market myself if I'm going to be that $2 million teacher. No, we're not talking about what I'm doing extra for myself. We're talking about the system that's in place. Somebody said nurses earlier. People in the healthcare field get paid very well. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the people who train those individuals, the people who teach us the basics. Teachers teach everyone, every athlete, every senator, doctor, everybody you could think of. In order for them to get where you are, they had to go through a schooling process in the system. And if they did not go through the system, they would not be a football player. So again, how are we going to let the mama and the daddy feel like, oh, because they didn't provide the best life because they were poor? Oh, you're nothing but the stepfather who came in at 18 with a couple of coins. I'm going to give him all the everything because he did this, that, and the third. No, it's a system here. And some systems are just set up in a way to where there ain't no getting out because of this mentality. Oh, wow. Yeah, well, you don't want to make $34,000 as a teacher? Well, you better go run up and down the board, down the field, and get yourself hit then. No, stop. Let's look at what it takes to run a country and operate and provide people with honesty and integrity and learn how to count and learn the basics first. Let's take care of the groundwork first and then move our way up. But no, this system, a long time ago, along with welfare, is the same distraction when it comes to paying its people. Wow. It is a tool used to keep us divided again to help us continue to feel like one person is better than the other when it's not. We can't do anything without the government. We can't do anything outside of this system to make it to the next level. So again, we the people have to understand and be real with the fact that we have people teaching our children, fat football player, NFL player, whether it's private or not, that need to be taken care of. And it's each one of our individual responsibility. This is coming from a person who I ain't even got a dog in the fight. I ain't even got no kids in the system. I'm just a person that cares about human beings and understand that the system is screwed. And I ain't got no problem. Give me a website where I can send a file. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick a teacher, any teacher. And I'm going to let them know. I'm going to write them know that I ain't got much, but I'm going to give you $20 a month just because I understand that the system is not fair to you. And anything I can do to make your day better, that's what I'm here for as an individual, not as a system. And that's the mentality we have in order to get out of this. It's try
Good deal.
to make us feel less than.
Absolutely.
But that's not the case.
Okay. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Y'all give us a call. Let us know what y'all think about this whole situation. Is the system warped? Is the system warped? K with the E, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, bless.
K,
and I ain't trying to. I just got a different. Let me hear the question first before I answer anything.
What we're talking about the pay scales and how you got professional athletes get paid millions of dollars, bounce a ball, throw a football, run around the track, or whatever they do, millions of dollars. Then you have your police officers, your teachers, and your firefighters that's not making anywhere close to that. Are we off our course? Are our priorities off in regards to how we paying these people?
I can't be in agreement to that because I know a guy that's getting paid. They got a millionaire contract with IBM, and he's getting paid. And his people that's under him, he's making sure they're getting paid. And so I don't know. And then I got another issue because I got grandbabies that's in the school district, and I got a granddaughter and another granddaughter and a grandson. Well, the 7-year-old he chose he don't want to go to one school. He rather live with his daddy because the principal and the teaching is sad. The other daughter decided, I'm not staying over there at that school where they humiliated her, and the teacher stood at the door and wouldn't let her go to the restroom, and she wet her pants, and it humiliated her, and it made her feel bad. She didn't want to go to that classroom, and they would force her to go in there, so she chose to move with her daddy. I have another granddaughter that's forced to stay at the school because they telling her, if you take her out, we can't do nothing, what's going on. So she's steady being harassed. So I have a total different feeling about our teachers and our principals and the pay scale, but it's all in what we want in choice. That's just like, if you don't believe in the word, then and I mean, it's up to you how far you go and how far you make your pay scale. Like if I wanted to go out here and teach and be a mentor and do all of that and get extra money, I'm telling y'all, anytime I want to go make me some extra money, can't go get a job. And I couldn't get a job at 59 if I didn't have skills, because I prepared myself with different skill levels. I can go do the secretary work. I can go do nursing. I can go do mentor. I could work with the mentally ill, or I could just go sit on my tail at a nursing home somewhere and paint nails. But I went to school and I kept going, getting these little certificates, putting them under my belt, so I wouldn't be without some type of job.
Okay.
And I just have a job background. I have a career background. So if we don't educate, because there's opportunity to educate, to put yourself in those positions, then you're not going to be in those positions.
The thing about it, and I understand what you're saying. Okay, hold on for a second.
So I don't
understand.
know about all that.
Okay, hold on for a second. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but
you got to earn it.
But my thing is right. The teachers. Let's talk about the teachers for a second. The teachers has gone through the process, gone through the educational system that you're talking about, and still they're not making the millions of dollars like a professional athlete. Some you got a few players.
But you got
a few players. Hold on, you got a few players that go straight from high school straight to the league and making millions of dollars. They didn't even go to college. Got a few players.
You know why?
That's done that.
Because they skills did that. They not their education level. They activity, they skills, their ability. their ability to get out there and do what everybody else. They went to college for the fundamental when they was already blessed with it.
No,
When God bless you with something,
K,
can't
my thing
nobody
is
do
this.
nothing about
K,
that.
K, can you hear me? My thing is this right here.
Some people is blessed.
K, listen. A few of them did not go to college. Is what I'm saying to you. You got I don't think Kobe went. What did Kobe go to college yet? What did Garnett? What did he go to college? What did he go to college? They didn't. I'm just naming a few.
Listen to what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
Right. Some people don't gotta go to college to do what they do.
I understand.
When you just blessed with it, you blessed with it. Like I ain't never went to hair school, but I guarantee you, I can do hair. I ain't never went to hair school.
And
my
that's
daughter
why I'm asking the
nails.
question.
She ain't never went to nail school.
Okay. And that's why I'm asking the question. Are our priorities off because of the fact they can bounce a ball or do this or are our priorities off? Let me go to God. Let's the phone lines are open 508-924-3521 508-924-3521. And let's make sure we got a lot of people here, so let's stay within the 3-minute realm that we're doing. But let me go to K. I'm sorry, Goddess. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, everyone.
Goddess, what do you say to this? What's on your heart, sis? Talk to me.
I've been listening to everybody. I think everybody has a wonderful point. I was going to take it whereas I wonder if some of our teachers, especially from back in the day, which was our great influencers as we grow. And what if those teachers did make millions of dollars and they were able to influence each and every one of our kids in a positive manner? But also, what if they was able to influence them in a negative manner? So you would have to think about that. And not only influence our children, but in order to make a big difference. So if they did make millions and millions of dollars, what if they was making a big, huge difference? What if they decided not to go with the program? We have to look at that. There's a curriculum that each school is having to teach, and we're learning that what they're teaching us is not conducive to the truth. So what if they did make hundreds of millions of dollars and they decided not to go with that curriculum because they didn't already made that money, and now they're ready to teach us the truth? Now our kids are walking around awoken and knowing the truth about a lot of different things. And it can go both ways. So I don't know. I was, now that you had said that, it kind of makes a big difference, because like Patrick Mahomes makes what, 500 million. He's probably with the Chiefs. He makes about 500 million, and he's a great influencer in our community. He's able to come in and build something. Like he said, he wanted a water burger, and he was able to bring a water burger here. He built something within the community, like a little park area for the community or whatever, because ours is limited. So they're able to come in and influence the community. It has how they want it to be done. So just think if teachers were making that kind of money and they were able to come in and influence our children how they wanted to be influenced, it could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing with a whole lot of money. So I don't know. That's how I was looking at it, because after Kay was saying, because we are dealing with here in Kansas City, we are dealing with a lot of racism within our school districts here. So, what if it was tables were turned and, our regular American family couldn't go in and get a teacher removed from the school because they did make so much money over them.
Good deal. 508-924-3521 508-924-3521. Let me go back to Curtis. Curtis, what's on your heart? Rico, come to you next.
I hear all the points, and everybody is making phenomenal arguments. You know what I mean? They're making sense. But all at the same time, when you look at teacher pay, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so we all standing up. All of us standing up. The teachers have a union. They got a union. There's people out here doing the same type of work. I'm one of them. We don't have no union. They don't even never mention us when they talk about critical needs. And we critical needs more than any profession on this planet right now. We all should be paid more money. The actual minimum wage should be $21.50 an hour. That's what the real minimum wage is supposed to be. Now I have a dog in the fight. Them boys do not get a break. Them families do not get a break. My son is in training 340 days out of a year. He pushes his body to a limit that most of us would never even think to even go to. He pushes his mentals to a level 340 days out of the year that most of us won't even challenge. So if the time comes and the money's on the table, I expect for him to get it. That's not to mention how much money just in training and equipment families have to spend. I know for a fact over the last 4 years, 5 years, between me and my ex-wife, we done spent about $25,000, $30,000 so that he can get expertly trained, so that he can have the proper equipment to decrease the possibility of him getting injured, so that he can have the proper preventative things at home to do so that his body can be adjusted to whatever condition he's going to be put in. I think running it towards athletes is an easy target. An athlete is an easy target. If every teacher in America woke up tomorrow and said, you know what? We're not going to work. When they put the mic in their face and said, why y'all not going to work? If they collectively said, we ain't going to work because y'all ain't paying us enough, I guarantee you their rate of pay would change overnight. If you don't believe me, look at what happened back here. What was that? 84, 85, 83, 84? When the NFL players said, we are not coming to work.
Mm-hmm.
It ties into what Leonard was talking about, when Leonard and Reek was talking about revenue. It ties into revenue.
But Curtis, let me say this.
Players stop coming to work.
Let me tell you this right here. A lot of times, what you got to understand is, and I know that you know some teachers too. My wife is an educator, and I know a lot of educators. I know people that's in the education field, and a lot of them, the good ones, let me say it like that, the good ones are in there because of the fact that they love the kids and they want to make sure that the children are in a placed in a good position. They want to make sure they take care of those kids. Now, I say that to say this: if the teacher were to do that and say, look here, you know what, we're not going to work tomorrow because y'all not paying us enough, how is that going to impact those kids that they love so much? And that's one of the reasons why I think they don't, because they love those children and they want to make sure that those children are placed in the right position. Are they taking a hit? Absolutely, I think so, because they're not getting paid right.
Raheem.
Yes.
Raheem.
Yes.
I am an educator, brother.
Okay.
I'm an educator.
Okay.
I completely understand. I'm not saying, don't twist my words. I'm not saying that teachers don't deserve to get paid more money.
Exactly. I know that.
But I'm not going to diminish the fact that, hey, there's a sacrifice being made, not only as the player, not only as a former player, not only as a parent, but knowing a player, because I have a dog in the fight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's a sacrifice being made. There's money being spent. And I'm not talking about $100 here and $100 there. I'm talking big money, man.
I understand.
That these families have to spend. Mm-hmm. So all I'm saying is, if a kid is blessed with the natural ability to exceed in a higher level of revenue, it's the same thing as if your kid is going to school to taste pies. You can't expect for him, and my kid is going to school to be a lawyer. You can't expect for your kid to make as much money as my kid. My kid is going to school for a profession that is specifically revenue driven.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just keep it real. It's revenue driven.
Now, you said tasting pies, right?
Your kid is going to school to continue the social plight, to try their best to implant in the population the things needed to move forward. I'm not saying that. I'm not even trying to diminish teachers. I am an educator, and I'm one of them who teach the kids that don't nobody want even in alternative schools. They don't want them in alternative schools, Raheem. You know how hard that is?
I'm with you.
You know how hard it is to teach a class? You in the class, bro. You in the class teaching. Everything's going fine. You even done added a Lord Joe in the middle of your course. And everybody's glad, and all of a sudden the kid just stand up and just completely thrash another kid. You ask why, he don't know. Something just came over him. You know how hard that is?
Absolutely.
You need to be paid. But all I'm saying is,
wrap
man,
it up, Curtis.
I cannot sit on this phone knowing that I have a dog in the fight, knowing that I have a son that dedicates his life to his academia and his athleticism, and say that anybody deserves to be paid more than my son. I'm not going to say it because I see the sacrifice that he makes.
But there's another. There's another. Curtis, hold on. Let me say it. Hold on. Let me say it before you say that. Hold on, Curtis. Curtis, hold on. Let me say.
How many of us gonna get out there in the middle of a field and work out?
My thing is this right here. The point that you're making is the very same point that a parent of a child that's going through the police academy can make as well.
No, it's not, Raheem.
Why not?
The police academy is 8 weeks. It's 8 weeks, Raheem.
Curtis, I went through the police academy. I know what.
But listen, though. You can become
Curtis,
Curtis,
hold on. I went through the police academy, brother. I know personally the amount of dedication and what you have to do to get through that academy. It's not something that you're just gonna do. It's a lot of studying. It's a lot of work that goes into making it through that academy. I've been through it. I know.
So have I, right here. Remember, I was a CO2, bro.
Okay, so I
was a CO2, bro.
So just anybody. Hold on, Curtis. I gotta pull some more people into the conversation. But my thing is right. Are you gonna tell me that just anybody can make it through that academy? If that be the case, why do so many people fail out?
Raheem, people fail out because they see the BS in it. That's why they fail out. The truth be told, man, I know dudes that's cops right here in Baltimore City right now that could not make the football team, period. But they made it through the academy.
And Curtis, I know people that went through the academy, I know people that went through. Curtis, hold on, brother. Curtis, I'm gonna mute you, but hold on. My thing is this right here. I know people that's only police that went through the police academy right now that can make it in the NFL, NBA, and all that. So the argument goes both ways, brother. You can't. It's not one sided.
Okay, I'm not saying it don't.
Okay, but hold on. Hold on, Curtis. I gotta pull some more people. Curtis, hold on.
Go ahead, man.
Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Hey, first I wanted to tell you, man, you might have to turn your mic up or something because it's real low to the people that's on the phone, and so when you speaking or trying to come in, we really can't hear you because I could barely hear you when I first called in. So I don't think anybody's trying to overtalk you, but I noticed every time you're on the phone when you try to intercede that we can't hear you too good. Your volume is real low.
Oh, okay, appreciate that. Let me turn this up a little bit.
And man, it's. I mean, the thing is everybody has a valid point. But then you have to get back to the real root of the issue. Curtis said some key things, man. It takes a lot to get to that skill level, man. Look, last night I watched a game, man, that made me almost lose my voice, and I ain't even a fan of either team. That just go to show you how much I love football.
Yeah.
I love that entertainment. I can't wait for year to year. When football season ends, I go through a depression. I have made that entertainment such a valuable part of my life that I really do get affected emotionally when football season ends. I don't get to see them boys entertain me and wow me with how fast they can run, even though it ain't that important. Keep that in mind. What I just said, it ain't that important.
Absolutely.
But it's
Absolutely.
good to watch and entertain it.
Mm-hmm.
So now you take school teachers. If school teachers took the mindset, see, now this is one thing. You know, I'm gonna go back. Athletes haven't always been paid fairly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Entertainers, singers, actors, they haven't always been paid fairly. Prince done had to sue. Rappers right now talking about, look, man, these 360 deals, man, you got to make your own money. And even school teachers to get to a point where everybody got to go and try to find another way to make some more money because they ain't making their fair share of the profits that's made, that they generated. So now, everything is about generating profits and revenue. We money driven. So if that's the case, if, you know, people made a choice, what if everybody said, well, you know what? Screw that teaching, it don't pay enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, education is important. Kobe Bryant knowing how to read and spell was more important than him knowing how to jump and dunk. Or he could have been a fool with some money.
Mm-hmm.
And ain't nothing worse than seeing a celebrated athlete or entertainer that we think got a lot of money and they still make these special appearances, but they can't tell nobody, man, I'm dead broke.
Mm-hmm.
Antoine Walker.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't too smart. He wasn't too educated. Somewhere somebody made him feel like, you know what I'm saying, him jumping and shooting that ball was the most important thing he needed to do. And we see it every day, especially in these black communities. We don't care if these little kids got a place to lay their head. We don't care if they're talking to the teachers halfway disrespectful, if they're making X, Y's, and Z's on their report cards. The only thing we care about is from high school all the way up to college to the pros, is if they win for our teams and make us feel good, and if they lose, we hate them.
Mm-hmm.
Meantime, teachers sitting at home coming up with a curriculum to educate your children with the basic necessities to survive the rest of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So this system really shows you this is the atmosphere that we live in as human beings. See, this is a way bigger question than money. Because watching them people entertain me for singing and acting and jumping and dancing ain't as important as a child being educated and knowing how to read and write and have some common sense. But the people that understand this still wants to keep their money because this is a dog-eat-dog world. It's market-driven and value-driven, both. I think everybody been on here been right. So here it is. If the teachers decide that the money ain't worth it, and there are no teachers, who gonna decide to up the pay? Like Curtis said, they could go on strike. Now, this is what I see should have been happening a long time ago. Everybody should be paid based off their performance and the percentage of revenue or value that they bring to a certain area. Whatever they produce, the value of what they produce. So teachers ought to have incentive and bonuses everywhere, just like athletes. You catch so many passes, we give this extra money. If you got so many students passing these tests at the end of the year that we're gonna test these students on, you earn these bonuses. You earn these incentives. We incentives. We're not just gonna give you Teacher of the Year awards.
Yeah.
But we're gonna give you bonuses every year based on the performance of the students that you teach. Incentives and bonuses. That really shows the teacher how important it is. See, most of these teachers, they don't teach because of the pay. They teach because of the necessity and the passion.
Exactly.
You know, doctors and nurses did the same thing. Now they get paid fairly, but the thing is you have people that don't really have the compassion of a nurse or a doctor going to be nurses and doctors now, all for the pay. There we go again. Now it's not about the importance of the job; it's the value of the job. How much money can you get out of it? Can you be a very rich drunk doctor performing malpractice and got a write a passage where you can't be sued after people get to sign their rights away for this treatment? Because they get good money too. So it goes back to the value, the real value or the importance of what we value as human beings, man.
Exactly.
Do we value being entertained and having somebody make us feel good and celebrate Michael Jordan and buying his shoes and turning him into a billionaire? Or do we value the teachers that we say are in the schools teaching our children how to read and write and get along with each other? And also making sure that they don't have bruises on them because they're going home to somebody beating them and molesting them.
Mm-hmm.
The teachers got a lot going on, man, and policemen do too, but they don't get to pay. So I mean, everybody does have a legitimate point, but we have to ask this question. We have to do some reform in this nation. We are out of order, man. We are out of order, and more than just this situation. And these conversations we have prove just how out of order we are. What does human beings really value? What is really important to human beings?
508-924-3521. 50.
For the mouthful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. Donna Toussaint, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
I started laughing because I thought about something that really people, I guess, really hadn't paid too much attention to. I guess I don't know. I really don't know. But you gonna need somebody to bury you, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Without me saying what I'm saying.
So you said, you talking about how much the funeral director, how much the funeral home make?
Not necessarily the funeral home, because we're gonna pay them. But the one that says ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. Let me just say one thing.
Oh Lord.
Why are people so upset with T.A. Jakes because he's making millions of dollars? George Myers or
Osteen.
What's the other guy? Osteen. The point is they shouldn't be. That's what we said. They shouldn't be. They got no business. Shouldn't. What do you need a helicopter for or an airplane? For what? Because they care for the soul of man. If they do care for the soul of man.
Wow. That's good. That's good.
And the thing about life is that's the most important thing in life is the soul of a man. But like Rico was saying, our priority would say, okay, I'm gonna watch a game for 2 hours. Let's say 2 hours. 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Look at how much I'm going to prepare just to watch it. I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to buy everything that I need to sit down for those 2 hours to enjoy myself. Matter of fact, I saw somebody with a Dallas Cowboy couch.
Good Lord.
If they had Dallas Cowboy bedspread, so you ain't got one that
No, I ain't got now, brother. I promise you that.
That's so Dallas. But I'm just saying, there's possibly a T-shirt from your favorite team, or a hat, or a pair of warm-ups. All of these things generate happiness. But when it comes to things that are really important in life, and we look at those people, like doctors, nurses, they make good money. Okay, teachers, there is not now a person, and that's country I can be. Not now a person have not been affected by a teacher.
In some kind of way.
In some kind of way.
Exactly.
If they can't get to a certain point because of their education, they go find them a tutor or somebody that can give them the educational, even if they have to cheat on the test, they go get that teacher that here's what you're going to have to do to pass. And same way with the, and I, we don't want to hear that, but the soul of a man. We get them to marry, we get them to bury, and we pay for the funeral, we pay for the wedding, we pay for the honeymoon, and we say, oh, Rev, I'm running a little short.
Wow.
Thank you. Bless you. I appreciate you doing that for me. And we go, and we not only that, we call them when our children go to jail, when we get in the hospital. We do all of that. And we don't know, we don't care about his family, his wife, or his or his wife, husband, that they're wondering where their parent is, because he get in the line of danger just to go by somebody that even know. And time he get over a salary of $500 a month, we picked up, and we won't have a meet saying that preacher making too much money.
Pocket watching. Pocket watching. Let me go to Leonard. What's on your heart, brother?
That last term y'all mentioned is something I have a big issue with as well. I don't watch people pot.
Mm-hmm.
I think the source of many people's discontent and unhappiness with themselves and their ability to maximize their existence is completely related to covetous and envious behavior. And it is the source of much unhappiness. Simply because that people seem to always feel that they're worth so much more to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to get what you worth, you have to build it yourself, or you bargain for yourself. No one owes you anything.
Mm-hmm.
So this notion and all this entitlement behavior is crazy to me. It's almost as if people are better at talking about what somebody else deserves than investing in themselves. So you sit around and you criticize the people who have maximized themselves. This is horrible. Why didn't you set out to do what it is that you wanted to do? If you want to be a teacher, then by all means be a teacher because that's what you want to do. Consider the pay
Mm-hmm.
for what it is that you want to do. I mean, like people say, I don't have a dog in the race. They should be paid more. They should. First of all, none of you can sit down and make the numbers work. That's one. You're not going to be able to do that. Simply, and then one, when you think about it, all teachers think about it. You're paid by performance. Well, then you would have to set performance metrics, and then those metrics would have to be judged fairly across the board. Yet teachers petition for waivers not to meet minimum standards. All teachers don't want paid by performance. You know why?
Because they're not performing?
Because some of them would make so much more than others that these teachers argue that they would rather not be on pay for performance systems. Everybody should get the same across the board. No one should get incentives.
Pay by performance. It's almost like a merit system, isn't it?
It's exactly a merit system, and if anybody's in education, they understand the argument and everything that went on with merit system pay and how they're viewed by certain educators. Certain educators don't want to learn nothing else. Certain educators don't want master's degrees in their chosen subject fields. Some, why it's so hard to get a PhD kindergarten teacher? Because it's a PhD. I mean, if that don't make sense to people, then they really need to go back and understand why it is there is such, what I guess in the corporate world, manufacturing, for instance, division of labor. Or this is the same argument I can kind of correlate to people that hate on successful pastors. It's you all in your feelings, but you have not looked at what these people have invested in and built for themselves. You just covet the outcome. You don't deserve it if you ain't put the work in just because someone else has it. Every teacher can't be judged. If teachers were judged based on performance, whose performance? The school performance? When at first you're looking at 50% dropout rates? Look at the behavior. Look at the behavior. How do you pay a teacher based on how a child behaves?
I think it would have to. Well, I think a situation like that will probably have to be per his or her classroom and the performance of the students in his or her classroom. I
so
think that
now
would make
you've made the teacher pay based on the behavior of the student. See, this is, and I'm speaking not from an opinion, just an opinion. I have a doctoral level degree in education. I never went to get my degree to be a teacher. You know how many fields there are and different things you can choose to be in education? So when you look at these types of things, your feeling sometimes completely dismisses how economics and markets work. You can go to another state and get $75,000 to be a teacher. Now that's your fault. You stay where they only paying $35,000. Anybody can go to school and learn the skills to become a teacher.
What you're saying is true, and you probably can go to another state and make $75,000 to be a teacher, but you got to also equate in there the COLA, the cost of living allowance in that particular area, because that $75 could very well be the same as that $35,000 here based on the cost of living.
Example: the South never was known for investing in education at the rate at which the North was. So there was this huge migration of individuals from the South in education to the North because the North paid more. It had nothing to do with the kids. They moved because of pay.
Yeah.
Not love for kids. Pay.
But you being from up north, you got to understand, and I know you see the point that I'm making in regards to the cost of living. It's going to cost you a lot more to live in Saginaw than it's going to cost you to live down here in the state of Georgia.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the argument. There's 49 different ways of paying teachers because there's 50 ways based on 50 states. So it has nothing to do with something as simple as what do you think a teacher should be paid? That's not how that comes about.
Exactly. Let me before I do that, let me get a phone number. People asking for the number is 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We're gonna stay with this for just a few more minutes, and then we're gonna actually transition over to our topic of the day because we haven't even gotten there yet, y'all. We ain't even gotten there yet. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
You know, as an educator, I'm saddened that people who, I don't know, you know, everybody has their opinion. You know, it saddens me because I see so many of my friends that are excellent teachers walking away from teaching the profession because of the pay, because of the environment now. And that saddens me because these are people that really care about your damn children. They care about your children. No, I'm just being real. They really care about your children.
Yeah.
But if you want a bunch of don't care, I'm just doing it for a few dollars or for whatever to say I'm a teacher, people teaching your children, then so be it. But I think it's pathetic that we do not realize the value. Because it sounds like some people in here don't realize the value of teachers. They don't realize the value. So, but that's okay. So if that's what you want, I'm talking whether it's from kindergarten to college, whatever level that you're in. If you don't think it's important for a person to enjoy what they're doing, love what they're doing, and be satisfied and making decent money, at least livable money, because a lot of the teachers I know right now, many of them are driving Uber. working second jobs just to try to pay their bill. Come on, but that's how you feel. That's the value that you put on. Maybe your children grown, you ain't worrying about it no more. But it's sad to me. It really is sad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you something. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, man. This conversation is so. I want to get to the topic of the day, but we really need to stay here. So we may have to revisit this conversation, possibly even Wednesday. Toy, you want to tell you what's on your heart, sis?
Yeah, no, my heart goes out to Cassandra with what she just said. That's how we are now. That's how society turns now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, walking with that speaking, hey, this is the fine line of economy. You can't do this and you can't do that. And the fact is, yes, we can. Yes, we can. But see, it's a tricky, slippery slope, right? Because again, we're trained into this way of working for someone else, not working for ourselves, right? I mean, can you imagine? Only thing you got to do is just get up and build your little hut out of some grass and some straw and some clay, and that's yours. No, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Teach your children. That's the key to a lot of this right here. A lot of the teachers' jobs are so doggone hard is because it's all we make it seem like it's only the teacher responsibility, and we're not teaching them nothing at home. So now they deserve to be paid $90,000 a year because they're dealing with little mob bosses and criminals. We not working in sync here.
Mm-hmm.
We getting these titles and positions, and we're pushing responsibilities on other people. And sometimes that's the part that makes it not worth it. I guarantee you, if a teacher, couple of things. If you go to a state where the starting salary for a teacher is $54,000, and I'll just say New York, but that's not the case because my sister's a teacher and she's struggling up there, right? The cost of living is also higher. We're talking about a root of the problem.
Yeah.
The teachers don't get paid enough because they can't afford to pay their bills. On top of us having issues raising our children, then they have to go to school and make the teachers' jobs harder. Why do we act like we don't understand? So my heart goes out to Cassandra, and she's right. We don't care anymore. Some of us kids are grown, right? Some of us did enjoy an opportunity where people went to work for the love of working and respected it because their name was on it and not for the dollar. So this is where we're going. We're not teaching our kids, period. And by the time they get to school, they don't have no common sense because we're not teaching them what's common. But we don't even care about what's common anymore. We care about who put the work in, who did more than who did more than what. And some of us are okay with the levels of disparity, even though we don't think about that sometimes we're in disparity, not because of our own, but because of some intricate parts of a system that some people miss. And because the have and the have-nots, I'm sorry, even if I wanted to have, my heart goes out to the have-nots. And I would do anything. I send prayers, but back on track. Instead of getting these distractions, this is just another something that I need to make an effort in doing. We try to collectively get people together to show love that, hey, Cassandra, you and the rest of the educators, you're right. We don't pay y'all enough. And sometimes there's nothing we can do about it. But from me, even if it may seem misconstrued, we care. You know what I'm saying? We're just caught in the system to where we can't see past our own positions. But man, don't feel like people don't care because there's a lot of people out here that care. But we're caught up in that same cycle as you, and it just seems like it ain't nothing to do about it. But God got y'all, man. So just hold it down. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about how people feel because I understand. But it's just a part of the system we in, my love. And this is how it's going. That's why we're having this discussion and this topic right now. So just know that we love y'all and y'all are important despite how it looks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, it's man, this is so deep. This is so deep right now. Badger, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
We're talking about pay. We're talking about the professional athletes getting paid millions of dollars, teachers, police officers, and firefighters not getting paid enough. Badger, what's on your heart?
I've had an issue with that for years when I found out how much they get paid. But people got to pay those idols, those gods, all those tributes, because they're more important than their own kids, more important than their neighborhoods, more important than their communities. um, right now, I actually feel sorry for teachers in Texas right now. because they're having to make a decision. Do they stand up and riot and leave the schools, or do they stay in the school where they've spent so much time and money to get this education and this degree to teach, and teach the curriculum that is now mandated by Texas law?
Mm. Wow.
So, um, it, I have a lot of passion when it comes to this because I've had a lot of people call me a lot of dirty names because I
Mm.
have issues with how much athletes and things like that get paid,
Mm-hmm.
and even movie stars. You know, they get paid how many millions to be in the movie?
Oh yeah, to act.
So, and most of them had teachers growing up, you know,
Mhm.
but then here we go again. People in power, it's a corrupt system. I'm just a conspiracy theorist in quotation marks. You know, I had an awesome conversation yesterday just looking at the general ideology of today, and greed is so rampant that people seem to have forgotten what really matters.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. I want to get to our topic for today. We hopefully we'll make it there. Hopefully by 9:30. I know, man. I know, Rico. I want to get to it. We might have to just cover that one Wednesday. We might have to just cover that particular topic Wednesday. But right now, let me go to our K with the E. K with the E. What's on your heart, sis? K, you there? Mary, good morning. How you doing this morning? Mary, you there? Mary, are you there? Rico, talk to me, brother.
Dolan Curtis and Monique gone.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you now. How you doing this morning?
No. I just interrupted someone. I'll say it after they're done.
Go ahead, Rico.
Oh, I was actually about to make way for Curtis and Dolan and Monique if they were still on, because there's a few more people that hadn't spoke since I last spoke.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
if Miriam want to go ahead, Miriam. I mean,
Yeah, let me
I
go.
spoke.
Yeah,
Go
let me
ahead.
go. Yeah, let me go to Mary. Mary, what's on your heart? What do you think about this topic we're talking about right now? Mary?
You gotta tell me what the topic is. I just got in.
We talking about money. We're talking about pay. And professional athlete, basketball, football, or whatever it is, they make millions of dollars a year. When your teachers, your police officers, and your firefighters, and even your military, we could put you in there because you're military, are not making that type money. Do you think that's fair? Are we are our priorities off in regards to how we paying these people?
Um, I forgot what the saying is, but logically, I think we glamorize the wrong things and we pay for the wrong things. You don't need that much money to play basketball at any time.
Mm-hmm.
They have way more than enough, and a lot of them are doing good things with their money, and that's beautiful. But you don't need that much money for that.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, a lot of people, I know teachers in particular, can't really speak on the military side legally, but I know teachers specifically don't get paid enough. I know that no teacher should live paycheck to paycheck, and no teacher should have to pay for her own supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I've watched mommy like do pay for a lot just
Mm-hmm.
for her students to get quality learning, and I don't think that that's fair. Especially when there's funding. There is the funding for it. It's just instead of putting it to the right place, they put it to the wrong things, like changing Gwinnett at home. They changed the little logo to a prism for what? That doesn't affect a single thing in life. That doesn't. Why are we repainting cars that are fine? The police cars are fine. Why are we repainting them? Just because we can say we did something with the tax money, while we have roads that are still messing up people's alignment. Like, come on now. It's just we put money into the wrong. Well, they put money into the wrong things, and I'm gonna leave it as that before I get too passionate and get myself in trouble.
Good deal. Let's not get in trouble. We don't want to do that. Rico, go ahead and speak, brother. And I'm gonna make my way around.
It still comes back to us. You see, if we didn't spend the money to fill the arenas or to buy the shoes, then that money wouldn't be there for the athletes to split or for the owners to make. See, first off, the owner's gonna make so much of the money that it's only fair that the athletes make their part, just like the movie makers. It's only fair that the actors make their part. You got to pay people fairly if they have generated this income or this revenue. But see, I'm going back to what Cassandra said because she hit it so far on the head, man, and I agree with her wholeheartedly. As I listened, I realized that somewhere in society, there became a demand for schools and teachers because there was there was an importance. It was important. It was a demand for it. It was a requirement. Now, for some reason, we don't appreciate them that much. So Leonard said something key. If you want to be a school teacher, keep the pay in mind. So imagine if all the school teachers kept the pay in mind. Somebody fixing to have to start back being stay-at-home moms. NBA players fixing to have the children that practice with them. Somebody fixing to have to learn how to do some teaching while they learning how to jump and slam dunk at the same time. Somebody got to do the job. Yeah. Police officers underpaid. We wonder why some of them go crooked. They out here getting shot at, dealing with ignorant people that just don't want to cooperate. They got to deal with funky, crazy people, murders, child molestation. They got to see some of the worst things you can imagine in your life. Can you imagine walking up on a murder scene of a mother killing her children? Keep the pay in mind, though. So, you know, if everybody kept the pay in mind and said, well, I ain't going to do this job because they don't pay enough, then who going to do that job? See what I'm saying? So you got to make it an incentive to do the job. You got to pay them for the value that they really bring to the table. These teachers, they have to deal with students, man, that don't know how to act. You see videos of teachers getting whooped by big kids. Yeah. Big, strong kids. So now, if the teachers keep the pay in mind, which they should, and all of them decide to stop teaching, who gonna teach your children? Oh, not my children or people that ain't got children in school might not care. But see, we looking at society there and we wondering why are people that are being looked at like back in the day, people a long time ago, you had philosophers. You had all these great people, these scholars and excellent people, especially in the Black community, that we looked up to. Now we look up to entertainers more than anybody. Tyler Perry said, Allen Iverson said, is whatever entertainer, Gucci Mane said, and these people listen to them, and they that's who they get their education from. They don't value the teachers anymore. I heard all that. Everything Cassandra heard, that's what I heard too. Teachers ain't valuable. So I would say, like a person like Public Citizen or some other teacher, I think it would be for them to call in and say, hey, man, I don't want no bonus. I don't want no incentive. If I'm teaching and I know every student that I'm putting out of here is doing good, I know these students probably come from a home that the parents don't care what kind of grades they're making, but these children are making straight A's. They're reading on a 9th grade level in the 4th grade. They speaking another language. If I got these children to a point to where they're going to change their lives through their education, but the rest of the teachers in the school are in the same grade level that I'm on, in the same school that I'm in, aren't doing the same thing, man, let it reflect. My children are making this school system look good. The children that I teach, all of a sudden there's a new wave of students that's concerned about politics. All of them, I mean, teachers play a big part in a child's life.
Yes, absolutely.
They are the parents away from parents. If they're not important, the parents aren't important. But somewhere, I think it was the Renaissance. I don't know what. Somewhere in time, people start valuing entertainers and putting them on a pedestal. Maybe it was with William Shakespeare being so eloquent with his word. Sometimes we could be eloquent with words and it's entertaining. But I guess during the Renaissance, it became popular to start valuing minstrels and jesters more and put more value on it because it became a business to charge people. And people like being entertained. So, it boils back down to us. These people wouldn't make the money they made if we didn't go spend the money to watch them entertain us. So it's all about us. Me, and money. Money over everything.
Wow. Good deal. And that's true. And it's sad though. It's very sad, but that's true. That's true. It's all about the dollar bill, man. Monique, what's on your heart, sis?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So,
okay.
You have to. I feel like if we're gonna say it's a problem, right? What would the solution be? Because you can't just pay them. Because you have to take money from somewhere to give money in another place. So we said take money from NBA players, and if so, that would also pose a new problem. So I feel like I do feel like it's a problem, and I do have an idea of the solution. But what would be a logical solution in people's opinion on how to change that? Because taking money, you have to take a lot of money for all the police officers, all the teachers, all the administrators, all the people in education. And then, well, except for professors, they're paid well. Well, some of them. And then all the military, there's a lot of people in the military. So all that money is going to come from where?
Monique, you want to tackle that?
I was getting ready to say that as well, because the teachers are paid by the state, police officers, I think county, city. So, exactly who's gonna, even the military. I work for the federal government. I think Leonard mentioned somebody mentioned the pay for performance. That's how I get paid. They switch us over to that, and that's hard. I made more money, because I had to up my performance, but that's hard. And I think that, well, I was Googling, some of the other countries to see, how they pay their teachers. And it looks like, this is worldwide, not necessarily just the U.S. A lot of the other countries don't pay their teachers as well either. So I just think it's a matter of, how everybody get paid. The government is, any form of government is not necessarily per se regulating, the sports or the entertainment, whereas with everybody else is government regulated regardless of what level, So I think maybe that plays a big part in it as well, because the government has a hand in it. Maybe if it wasn't government regulated, there could be some way where, something could be implemented where, the teachers and the police officers and the firefighters can make more money. But they have the lottery. The lottery was supposed to be, that. But, I remember hearing a comptroller, for the state saying that, hey, if we need, even though it might be money in this pot and it's supposed to go towards education, but if we need it to go we need money for the roads, that money is going to be diverted, to the roads. So I just think, how it's being regulated and who's going to pay for it. Every time, they go up a penny in taxes, we complain. So Who's gonna pay for, teachers, and police officers, to get paid more? Who's gonna pay for that?
Absolutely.
Especially when they're under the government.
That's good. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, when you think in terms of being a civil servant, public servant, right? There's certain things when we think in terms of pay. There's certain a lot of times we get caught up on pay that's going in onto a paycheck, right? And I'm like everybody else. I'm a solutions-based kind of guy. So I've been thinking about this thing for the last probably 10, 15 years. But when you're a public servant, civil servant, any kind of servant to the people of America, it is in my opinion that one, you should not be deemed to pay another tax for the rest of your life. That's an incentive. You should not be deemed to pay one tax again for the rest of your life. Right? You could put that on the books. Your education should be paid for, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you got a bachelor, undergrad, grad, doctorate, all of that should be free. Right? The healthcare should automatically be free. You should not have to pay for any kind of healthcare. Period. If you want to go to the doctor for a hangnail, you should be able to go in there, get seen by the doctor for the hangnail, and call it a day. What I have noticed in the school system and in the systems for which we work, which is the human services system, regardless of how you want to put it, the school system, the police department, the fire department, this, that, and the third, they are just different branches of a tree called human.
Yeah.
So when you look in the human services field, it is the human services field as a whole has been the most neglected of professions in terms of pay, right? I hear a lot of people talking about the athletes. Let me just be real with y'all. The average athlete who works and the only salary he's getting is from the league, he ain't making no money. If you really look at how these athletes are being paid, it's not off of that check. Yeah, that check comes in. All that check does is pretty much pay the bills. Pay the doctor bills, pay the house bill, pay the car notes. Where they really make money is in endorsements. I guarantee you, if teachers started getting paid endorsements, their salaries would jump almost tenfold. So, I guess, okay, if this is the problem that we're talking about, what is the solution? I don't think anybody who served in the military honorably should ever have to pay another tax for the rest of their life. If they serve peacetime, wartime, and thank God for me, I was able to serve in both arenas, peacetime and wartime. So I got to see what we do when it's peace, and I got to see and understand and feel what we do when it's war. And to be honest with you, guess what? A lot of times I was more stressed out when it was a peace time
yes,
than it was when it was war.
Absolutely.
So I think that certain things should be offered. I don't think a bank should be able to charge you fees on any accounts that you have. I don't think credit cards should be able to charge you fees on anything that you have. There's certain things that can just be rendered as a means to reestablish the economic base in these career fields that we have called human services.
And
now,
we're not going to speak.
If I hadn't done so much dirt as a teenager, I probably would be running for mayor right now.
And could you say something?
These are the things that we need to be talking about. We can't just point the finger at one particular set. I ain't heard nobody talk about a hedge fund manager. You know how much money they make? Half of them can buy a football team, an NFL team. So you know what I mean? Like that's a good idea. I heard the sister talking about, well, basically, you know, where we gonna get this money from? How we gonna pay? You know, how would we pay these additional people? The other thing is the educational system, the police departments, the fire departments are so top heavy based in salary that it's almost ridiculous.
Yeah.
Some of these people are getting paid these far-fetched amount of money. So everybody is governing themselves according to what we call trickle-down economics. However, if you look at trickle-down economics shows us that the only people who get paid in trickle-down economics is those who are at the top of the pyramid. The base of the pyramid never sees a cent.
Good deal.
So
Good deal. Wrap it up for me, Curtis.
We got to shift. How do we do that without making those folk over there that's getting paid all this money feel we taking something from them?
Good deal.
Give incentives.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me go to I hadn't heard from Tucson in a minute. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
If you want something to change, you got to change the mindset of everybody involved, and that's almost impossible at this point because everybody just there. Okay, what you think would happen at this point if the NFL would go on strike? I'm talking about today. What would happen?
If they did it right now, with the playoffs going on, they'll lose a lot of money. Right now, it'll hurt.
They'll lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
But how many of us would also lose some money?
A lot of people.
Exactly. I would think because there's so many people preparing for it. And the people that keeping it going. Isn't that the end? If the NFL players decide, make a decision to do this, I'm just saying, just for an example. And you say, we don't care if you go on strike or not. We're gonna stop supporting football. You know what they would have to do? Go get a job. Plain and simple. I think maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
If they're gonna keep living, they got to.
So if our value system change, our value system as a people, I'm talking about all people, would change, then everything would. Here's another thing, and I should have said I don't talk much. Here's another thing. Don't NFL and NBA female players play just as well as the male? I'm just saying.
Yes, sir.
They got some girls, man. I was just watching the video, and this girl threw up an alley hoop, and the other girl farmed it.
Wow.
I wonder how much her salary is. So even the performance level depends on how those that are watching.
That's good. That's good. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, so many beautiful points of views, and a lot of them I'm like right there with them. Because of the stuff that I've, been taught, been aware of, understand what's going on, that's why I made the comment earlier about idols. There's a lot of these people, that are in like the basketball, football, and all this other stuff, they can make a shoe or a shirt or something like that and put their name on it, and all of a sudden everyone starts buying it up. because it's being supported by their favorite sports person or movie star. It's almost like people forgot how important they are too, and how important it is for the education. I mean, I know there are some teachers that are perfectly content with where they are, what they get paid, because their enjoyment is seeing people succeed, and the fact that they were able to provide for that person to succeed. So they knew ahead of time going into it how rough it was going to be, because they seem to have done the research and then it for a different reason, in my opinion. Um, so I'm sitting here, just thinking and looking at, especially in the last couple of years, hearing the teachers that are fighting for our kids, with so many parents not even realizing that they're fighting for the children, and to sit here and know that they're not paid much more than minimum wage hurts. Because a lot of times the teachers are the ones that point out the intelligent children, or the fact that the children might have an issue that the parents never even realize because they're too busy trying to survive and make sure the children have a home or a roof over their head because of pay. And some people know what that experience is and some doesn't. Or some people at least know someone that's going through a hard time. And a lot of times, the blame is always put on them. Well, you can move to a different state. You can do this or that, or so on and so on. And it just bothers me, I guess, because to me, I know preachers that won't take money from their um, church at all. They have a full-time job on top of being a preacher because they don't want any money from the congregation, because he wants the money to go back to the congregation. And there are teachers like that too. And there are some sports people that, they put a lot of their money back into communities. So, like, there are amazing human beings out there. Yet I feel that there are more of the greedy people that's making a whole bunch of money than it is the good. But with looking at teachers, I just never really came across a greedy teacher that became a teacher for greed.
Wow, that's good. Goddess, you there? There you
Yeah,
go.
I'm right here. That last sentence says a whole lot. And I was sitting up reading some of the things that people were saying. The reason why they're not being paid, and these large companies are making sure they're not getting paid, and politics plays a big role in how people are getting paid. So when we were talking about solution, people were putting up. I was reading some of the comments, and a lot of people were placing on there, uh, how billionaires and millionaires are basically paying people off, in the voting process, not to vote for certain things that is for the community and for the people. Um, I know one big thing here in Kansas City, Kansas, is that we pay a separate tax. It's called pilot tax, and Wyandotte County is making 30, which nobody else has this. We pay more utilities than anywhere in the country. We pay a pilot tax, and we're the only county that's called a unified government. So I want y'all to realize that. So pilot tax is a separate tax that they tax each and every household, but it was only supposed to go for those that lived in apartments, not people that had houses. But instead, everybody gets it. And the city, they get $32 million a year. That's not including the bills. That ain't including the payments that you pay, your monthly payments. This is a separate tax that's added. They make $32 million. Why come any of that? In each police department, most police departments in most states take 60% of the income from the whole total city. A lot of people don't know that. So when a police department is half filled, they're not handling crimes the way they should be. That's why a lot of people are going up saying, okay, well, let's defund these police departments so we can build up other programs so we can come in and assist our community. Because we have people out here that are doing things to try to help assist, and they need funding.
Wow.
People are not understanding how this is going on. So you getting $600 million. I'm just throwing a number out there. You, as a police department, you getting 600 and you have staffed, and you're not dealing with the crime. And the crime is steady going up. That's what's going on in Kansas City, Missouri.
Wow. Wow. Leonard?
That's something to look at. You got to hold these people accountable. And if you're not holding people accountable, that becomes a problem. You know, and that's where in the pay. Now, our teachers, Missouri school district was not even accredited for years. They just now, over 10 years, they're just now getting their accreditation.
Wow. Wow.
So you got to start holding these people accountable too. So it goes both ways.
That's good. That's good. You're right. You're right. What's on your heart, brother? Leonard?
Yes.
Yeah. What's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
I just came back. I'm just listening. Sounds like you all pretty much are talking about the same thing, and I kind of caught the end of what Goddess was saying, and it makes absolute sense because one, you don't come up with things, I think, the way that most people think. It's not about how much you think someone is worth, and from that point of view, every state is allowed to administer public education how they see fit. So there are people sitting down doing this. They're looking at their butt, like what most of you have proposed. Like one, you hear people, everybody always thinks they should get paid more. How much you think they should get paid? Right.
A teacher?
Yeah.
On the low end, why can't we and see
what you think? Just give me
75,
a dollar amount.
$75,000.
Okay. Now you go take that $75,000 a year and apply it to every teacher in Gwinnett County, and let me know if that is in the budget. And if it's not, what we're going to do to put it in the budget, I'm pretty sure because you value teachers so much, we'll just add an extra $100 to your property tax. Since you value that so much, you should have no problem. You should have no problem giving up this extra money on property tax.
Yeah.
You okay with that? Because that would have to work.
Some would be, and some certainly could not afford it.
Exactly. So you know, it's a difference between wanting somebody to do something else than what you may have chosen. So, say for instance, we wanted to pay police officers, because that was one of my things. Let's pay police officers more. But one, where does it say that even paying teachers more increases educational outcomes? Where's that research at? That more money makes teachers better teachers or better police officers.
I think, and I see your point, and I can agree with your point.
I mean,
but at the same time, I think it's more
because
appreciation.
you're going to pay for it now. Understand?
I think it's more appreciation.
You're going to pay
appreciation.
For it. No, it has not. That's the thing about it. It's not about appreciation at all. There's no component related to appreciation. It's about budget. It's about what the members of those
Yep.
communities are willing to pay.
Hmm. I can't dispute that. You're absolutely right in regards to that. But what I am saying is, and I think if a teacher, if anybody, I'm not even just gonna say teachers, but if anybody feel more appreciated, then they're apt to do. I think they're apt to go a little above and beyond what is somewhat asked them if they feel appreciated,
And
and
this is my
that's
same
why
thing with
that's why a lot of environments is terrible in,
talk
in
is
certain
so
workplaces.
talk is so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You all have proven that you won't pay more
Sometimes you don't have a choice, Leonard.
because you won't pass the bills to pay more.
Mm-hmm.
We have what I mean, where I'm from, like, well, it was a millage, and the millage determined how much you'd be paying. So when a millage came up, sometimes people wouldn't even pay 5 cents more. 5 cents more. They wouldn't vote for 5 cents more to come out of their pay or their property tax for education. But you
Mm-hmm.
blaming somebody where in outer space? You
Mm-hmm.
you don't understand. You don't
Read
even.
that, Leonard.
You,
Read that, Leonard.
good point, Leonard. But if the job pays more, then more people will want to join our profession. This will increase quality. In theory,
There's another part.
look at states where they attacked the teacher unions. The pay went down. Do you think the quality went up? Let me tell you what the Georgia governor proposed and remarried, because when they were fighting for quote merit pay, which was shot down by teachers, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
because teachers in certain areas knew that they didn't even have the faith in themselves to meet the standards or requirements necessary to get the additional incentive. So much to the fact that some districts even sent in waivers
Mm-hmm.
not to meet standards because they performed so poorly against the standard. So therefore, they didn't even want to see other teachers. How do I give one teacher more than the teacher across the hall?
That goes to, Leonard, back to why I say the individual classroom. That's why I say it goes back to the
Okay,
individual
I
classroom
understand that. So
and how.
It's student performance. Student
Yeah, yeah,
performance.
there's a person that has to go around and make that evaluation, right?
Oh yeah, it's in the books.
Right. And you know what some teachers would say?
What's that?
Well, they don't have this student in their class. They don't have these types of students.
Mm-hmm.
They always are going to have an excuse for why they can't meet because they don't want to compete.
Mm-hmm.
Education is one of the only fields that you can go in and get paid and never have to worry about losing your job, irregardless of how many people graduate, what grades they make, or anything. You're not even expected to change what you're doing unless somebody waits 2 and 3 years for the outcome to go back and look at the study when the change was needed 3 years ago.
Cassandra, what do you say to that? Cassandra? Cassandra, wake up and go to sleep. Somebody wanted to say something a second ago.
I'm here.
Yeah, okay.
I'm here. You know, we can find every excuse why we won't try, or we don't think it's a good idea to pay teachers more, or it'll never happen because people don't want to pay a penny more. But the bottom line is teachers are worthy of being paid more, whether they ever do it or not. I just want to make it plain from me as a teacher, as a former teacher, 12 years, that we do deserve better. And it's sad.
I think they froze up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they look like they froze up, man.
And you know, it's
No,
a
I get
matter
what.
of fact, Rico, when it
I
comes
think
to education. And I know guys like you that will go do that research and look at the various information out there. When people get to talking about money, they don't want to look at actually how much. They just want to talk about the theory of it all.
Leonard, you're really on to the truth. And what people are not understanding is, yeah, you put a raise in these teachers, but if it's not across the board, or if it's not you give a raise to the teachers, but you're not giving the adequate amount of books, computers. Wyandotte County is still below. So that what was that? The child, what was no left behind child act?
Okay, yeah.
Remember that? Okay, that's still in effect and
Non-funded.
non-funded, all that. I mean, so there's a big difference. I'm not saying the teachers don't need an advancement in pay, but what I do say is that there's got to be a change somewhere. There's got to be some accountability, and
Mhm.
that's where the problem is. And I don't see us doing what is necessary to become accountable to make sure that everybody's accountable. And
Well,
what you just said was, like, for example, the police department, they get all paid, but they're not doing their jobs.
Exactly.
And if you do it based off of credit or merit, yeah, their credit and merit is to continue on uh, hurting certain people in the community that they should be protecting.
so you
Exactly.
I see that
change that.
uh, on the FOP agenda, So right there, that's really what my mindset went to when he stated that. So I really had to jump in. I wanted to jump in so
Miss
quickly
Murray,
to say that because that merit status
Okay.
doesn't do anything when
Hey,
it comes to the FOP.
hold on. I just came back in. We had both of y'all talking at the same time. It don't matter which one of y'all, but one of y'all got to go, and the other one got to wait for a minute, and then we'll come back. Goddess,
Got us.
say it again.
Got us.
Goddess, go ahead.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What I was saying is that when it comes to a merit, merits are not always looked at in a proper source or in a proper respect because there's a problem with merits. If you look in the police department, everybody that gets merit wise, they do it because they have done something under the table, not correct, followed the FOP agenda, and not protected our community. The people that should deserve the merits are the ones that are speaking up against police corruption and the things that are being done. That's the same with the teachers, and it goes all the way back because each county is not dividend correctly, and the monies are not spent correctly over the board. So until there's accountability, and I'm not saying teachers don't deserve to get paid more, but there should be accountability at an upper hand level so teachers are responsible. You can't come pay Johnson County over here, which is the more upper class, pay them $55,000, give them all the tools that they need to make happen, and then come over here in Wyandotte County and pay them $55,000 and half the tools. It's
Goddess,
not
let me
going to
ask you a
work
question.
out.
Goddess, let me ask you a question. And I love what you're saying, but where does that accountability lie? How do you gauge that accountability for a teacher?
The accountability, first of all, it lies within the actual board because it's the board that decides certain things. And then when he was talking about the milliliters, it also the money comes from the community. So you got both.
Mm-hmm. But how do you
You
how
have
do you say
both.
how do you say one teacher deserves this amount and another? My question is, and how do you gauge, though? How do you put a hand on who deserves this and who deserves that? How do you measure it, if you will, lack of a better term? How do you
You
measure that?
can't measure it until there's accountability. Until you
Mm-hmm.
turn around and say, hey, this community deserves this, because they've been. I'm going to give you a prime example. Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City, Missouri came up, and the only reason why, because I was a parent fighting for mine, and I've been to private schools all my life, but I decided I didn't want to pay all that money. So Kansas City, Missouri came with public schools and charter schools.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Charter schools, we had a charter school that was doing absolutely fabulous. The reason why the contractual agreement was broken between the public schools and the charter school is because they did not all their numbers rose, everything rose, but they did not meet the the total requirement on the overall student because they had an influx of students that came in that didn't speak English.
Mm-hmm.
So that changed their grade, and so they lost it.
Wow. Wow.
It wasn't because they had teachers and paraprofessionals to come in and help. It wasn't because they wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. They were doing excellent,
Mm-hmm.
excellent. But
Mm.
they pulled it. The school board pulled it.
Now,
There
and
again is accountability because they did not have, because the public school system was not getting the monies. Wasn't the charter school was ranking them out of this world, and public school system was not getting the money that was not doing what they were supposed to do, but
okay.
getting the funding, and they started losing their funding because they only get paid per student,
Okay.
and when
Hold on for a second.
students wasn't going there, they ended up going to charter school.
Okay. Hold on for a second. Let me go back to KK. What were you saying just now? K with an E.
I'm just me having grandbabies and stuff in these schools, and I had a husband worked at a charter school, and it's a school again now, but they took the charter, they took it they took it, and then me knowing he worked there, it was so much going on inside the school that wasn't right. Custodians, and it was just so much going on that they lost their funding because they wasn't even keeping up with the code, with the school code. Mm-hmm. So they lost it. A lot of people don't understand. There's a lot going on in these schools, and unless you in there to see it, like I worked in these schools to see it, and where there could be a difference. We don't have teachers the same. We don't have principals the same. People in general is not the same. Mm-hmm. Just like when I went in there because I love caring and taking care of kids, period, people. And I worked in that cafeteria. And when I seen that we couldn't give the kids the extra food, but they taking it out the door, I didn't like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I had to make sure, you remove yourself out of that because you just going to be a little noise maker, and they ain't going to like that noise maker. And they didn't. Wow. They didn't like the noise maker. But I removed myself because I didn't like what I seen. And my grandbabies are in the school district. And I don't like none of it that I see. Mm-hmm. And we got some good teachers. We got some bad teachers. We got some good principals. We got some bad principals. But at the same time, of course, everybody, I don't know, no job that you can have 20 people on the payroll and all 20 people make $12 an hour. Mm-hmm. Somebody on there make $9 an hour. Somebody might make $18 an hour. I was nothing but a CNA. I made $20 an hour to go to a job, and they used to pay me that because they needed me to go that bad, and they couldn't get nobody else to go. Wow! And I wasn't supposed to make nothing but $10.50 an hour. Mm-hmm. Wow! So they can't. When it comes to a pay scale, it depends on what you come in there under, what you got under your belt. Different certificates get you higher pay. So every certificate I had, it gave me $1 more. And everybody else was at work, and I never discussed my pay. I found that out from listening to other people talk. Mm-hmm. And I did payroll before for VA hospital. Everybody don't make the same pay. Every athlete don't make the same pay. Mm-hmm. Every quarterback ain't did what Patrick Mahomes did. So he's in that higher rate. And if they did a strike, y'all, let me tell y'all, you got some of them NBA players, they acting, they doing all kind of stuff. So if they did a strike, they gonna be all right because they chose to take an extra step to make sure they are secured financially. Mm-hmm. Because anything can happen. Everybody is a paycheck away from being without.
Rico, read that for me.
When you tie the idea of teacher quality to test scores, you get stuff like the Atlanta teacher cheating scandal.
That was going to be my next point that I mentioned that
that's true.
Public Citizen brought up. There's a lot more to this than just a desire to believe or whatever attachment you have to this, quote, appreciation variable. And you sit and you look at what we're dealing with in schools and from police forces and that's why it's hard to justify more pay. If crime started going down because of a great initiative by the police department, I guarantee you the citizens would see that change and that difference in policing and be willing then maybe to contribute more to increasing police officer pay. But like God has said, we got folks up here accepting accommodations and don't shot 3 black boys, but they getting promoted through the ranks. We got issues that are nothing like a guy that plays a game. And we have to stop. We have to get out of this notion that everybody owes us. We're entitled to so much more simply because that's what we think. No, there's 100. How many people were sitting in class with you to become teachers? Now multiply that by all these other people and all these other different places becoming teachers.
How many people we got
that's
different celebrities that pay their kids' way to college?
Exactly. That's different.
Exactly.
Being a talented athlete, being able to command and negotiate for a certain amount of money. Matthew Stafford was given almost $135 million by the Lions. But when they sat back, they thought it was best to give him up. That's their business decision. But guess what the Rams said? I don't care. Well, we know he has some issues over there, but we think we can motivate him a little bit more over here. Now look where he's at.
Exactly.
You think you're going to get this performance, this change and things like that by teachers by paying them more? You think they're going to work extra hours?
Let me do this. I want to go to Cassandra, and we lost Rico because I actually wanted him to comment on that thing there, but Lenny, you kind of jumped over him there.
I'm just saying, now that you people get in the habit, now that you found something you like doing, you think you ought to be paid more than anybody else.
Cassandra, what's on your heart?
You know, when I taught school, I never thought that I should be paid more than anyone else. I just felt that I should be paid fairly. And most teachers, most decent teachers, we spend so much money on our classrooms till it's ridiculous out of our own pocket because of the lack of resources within our school system. So, you know, it was never for me feeling like I deserved more or I was better, I'm doing better, so give me more money. No, it was just giving people decent wage for good work. It had nothing to do with me feeling like I was better than anybody else, or I deserve so much better. It's about just being fair.
Is that anywhere near what Drew Brees would get paid for quarterbacking the Saints?
No.
Right.
No.
Right. So let's be realistic about it.
Exactly. We got to get on out of here, man. I just wanted to let me touch a few more people. Let me go to Monique. Monique hadn't spoken in a minute. Monique, what's on your heart?
Yeah, God, I was on the phone there.
No, sir. I'm coming to you next. Monique?
No, you can go ahead and let Rico speak.
No, that's on Curtis. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
Oh, Curtis.
Oh.
Kurt?
Sister, you don't have something you want to say?
Boy, y'all better say something. We're going to get out of here.
Well, I mean, you know, I get it. You know, we all should be paid a little more. We all should be paid a lot more for what we do. Every time I meet a state representative or any representative for that matter, in which I come across them all the time, one of the things I do is from a solutions-based perspective is I throw out the idea of possibly throwing these incentives out there. One of the things I did with Charles Ringel was I told him, I said, look, man, I said, if you really want to know what's going on, how people feel, you got to keep your feet to the street, brother. I told him flat out, straight to his face. And I remember, a lot of y'all don't know this, but I was sitting in a meeting when Ringel, Pelosi, what's man? Oh, Lord, was that Clyburn? When they was all in a meeting when we had this debacle in 2008, and they was trying to figure out what they was going to stand for as far as unemployment. And Charlie looked at me and said, "What you think?" He put the phone, because it was a phone conference meeting, so he put it on mute. He said, "Well, what you think?" And I said, "Look, man, if y'all don't address the needs of the people that's in the street, that's the working poor, that are losing their homes as a result of their jobs and this, that, and the third, and everything that we got going on," I said, "Ain't nobody gonna listen to y'all. You better put your feet to the street." He turned around, he got on there, because they was trying to approve it while he was out of town. He was in charge of the Ways and Means. He got on there and he told them, if we don't have what we initially asked for these people for unemployment, I'm sorry, I cannot throw my weight behind it. I will not throw my weight behind it. And that's it. Well, he the man in charge of the Ways and Means. That's the most powerful man in DC.
Exactly. Courage, you got to get out of here, brother.
What am I saying? All I'm saying is, when we thinking in terms of more money, let's thinking of incentives. That's all I'm saying. Think of incentives.
Absolutely.
Hedge fund managers get paid incentives all the time.
Good deal. Leonard, what's going on at 3:00 today, sir?
Man, if you did not get a chance to hear this show in its entirety today, log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3:00 Eastern today.
Good deal. Mary, do you have any questions, anything before we get out of here, Mary?
I sure do not, sugar.
Well, I sure appreciate you. Curtis. Oh, Curtis just hung up. I'm gonna let that brother pray us out today. Okay. Let's go to our prayer warrior, Miss Cassandra. Miss Cassandra, pray us out, sis.
Father, we just thank you for everything that has been said and done on today, God. We hope that there has been some type of understanding, knowledge, and wisdom passed on between us and onto the audience that we are talking to. God, I thank you right now for every member of this panel. I ask you to bless them, increase them this day, God, in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Thank you, God, that even if we don't agree, God, we can agree to disagree in love. I thank you. I honor you for DKM Media Group and everything that they stand for. Bless them, and these and all other blessings we ask in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. Been a great broadcast. We did not, Captain Leonard, we did not get to our topic today, brother.
You did not get to our topic today.
See, now you always want to blame the black man. Badge, anything on your heart before we get out of here?
Man, wasn't. Got that threw me off so bad. It's
quick, Badge. I gotta go now.
I know. Pay attention to what's going on in your counties, the laws and regulations, and where the money is actually going. In my opinion, if we take more money out of the senators and congressmen's pockets, we'll have even more to be able to take care of our communities. So that's my opinion.
Good deal. Goddess, quick, Goddess, real quick now. What's on your heart? Real quick.
I'll just say that I go with what Badger says. Go to these meetings, see what the city budget is. If you don't know what the budget is, you can't say where the money need to come from to go.
Absolutely. Good deal. We're about to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:11. You're about to exit the Morning Glow, but before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the morning glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? You all have a great day. Take care of each other, and please, please be blessed. Love you.